The Church of the Savior on Spilled Blood is one of the main Russian Orthodox cathedrals. It is one of the main sites of St. Petersburg, Russia. The church was built in memory of Alexander II, who was assassinated in 1881. Alexander II died of wounds inflicted in an attack by the terrorist group People's Will. Immediately, his heir, Alexander III, declared his intention to erect a church on the site in his father's memory, and moreover to have this church built in traditional Russian style, in distinction to what he saw as the contaminating Western influence of Petersburg. Construction began in 1883 and was completed during the reign of Nicholas II in 1907. It has a similar facade to St. Basil's Cathedral in Moscow. Its peculiar multicolored exterior makes it stand out from St. Petersburg's typically strict architectural proportions and color combinations. Architecturally, the cathedral differs from St. Petersburg's other structures. The city's architecture is predominantly Baroque and neoclassical, but the Savior on Blood harks back to medieval Russian architecture in the spirit of Romantic nationalism. The church contains over 7,500 square meters of mosaics, according to its restorers, more than any other church in the world. The walls and ceilings inside the church are completely covered in intricately detailed mosaics, the main pictures being biblical scenes or figures, but with very fine pattern borders setting off each picture. The interior was designed by some of the most celebrated Russian artists of the day, including Viktor Vasnetsov, Mikhail Nestorov and Mikhail Vrubel, but the church's chief architect, Alfred Alexandrovich Parland, was relatively little known. An elaborate shrine was constructed on the exact place of Alexander's death, garnished with topaz, lazurite and other semi-precious stones. The intricately detailed mosaics depict biblical scenes and figures, with fine patterned borders setting off each picture. The construction was funded by the imperial family. Estimates suggest that the construction cost 4.5 million rubles. The Church of the Savior on Spilled Blood took 24 years to construct and, after early Soviet vandalism, 27 years to restore. People would even joke that as soon as the construction trestles outside it were removed, the Soviet regime would fall. It may have been a coincidence, but the reconstruction that finished in 1991 was followed by the famous events which put an end to the communist regime. During the Second World War, when many people were starving due to the siege of Leningrad by Nazi German military forces, the church was used as a temporary morgue for those who died in combat and from starvation and illness. The church suffered significant damage. After the war, it was used as a warehouse for vegetables, leading to the sardonic name of Savior on Potatoes. The Church of the Resurrection provides a stark contrast to its surroundings of Baroque, classical and modernist architecture. When you enter the church, you will feel like you are in a real mosaic museum. 7,065 square meters of artwork will be waiting for you inside. Various Russian and foreign painters have been working on the interior decoration since 1895. The Mosaic Exposition of the Savior Church is one of the largest collections in Europe. Visiting the Church of Spilled Blood, you will be able to see all this beauty with your own eyes. It is really an indescribable experience. Another significant aspect of the church, which is usually the main reason that sparks the desire for a visit, is its breathtaking architecture. The Church of the Savior on Spilled Blood differs from other buildings and religious structures in St. Petersburg. Moreover, a majority of the buildings in the city are of Baroque or neoclassical architectural styles, whereas the church reflects the spirit of Romantic nationalism. The church was modeled after 16th and 17th century the Yaroslavl architectural style of churches, same as St. Basil's Cathedral in Moscow. The designated architect of the famous religious structure was Alfred Alexandrovich Parland, who wasn't born in Russia. The non-Russian architect's roots could have been the reason why the landmark's architecture varies greatly from other buildings in the second capital. The third reason why travelers should visit the astonishing landmark of St. Petersburg is the inside of the church. The interior will surely take your breath away with 23 plus 130 square feet of the mosaic collection, including mosaics of the exterior, one of the largest in Europe. The colorful mosaic is based on the paintings of Vasnetsov, Nestorov, and Vrubel. The inside of the main dome of the church is decorated with the iconic mosaic painting of the Christ Pantocrator and is one of the most memorable art pieces from the church. There are many more extraordinary examples of art displayed in the mosaic, which is best to see in person.
you.